Hi, I'm Adam Fiteni, CEO of Harcourts Victoria, and I'm here with Brad Ryan from Harcourts in Carrum Downs, both very big advocates of the auction process. And today we're going to have a bit of a chat about why we feel auction is an amazing process and how we feel it differentiates in different markets.
100% Adam. The auction process is such a popular method of sale we're seeing through our surrounding suburbs, through Carrum Downs, Seaford, Sandhurst, and the neighbouring suburbs around us here. And it's becoming very popular with a lot of our buyers we're finding as well. Our buyers are expressing their confidence in the system around the transparency. You know, they're loving the idea that they can go to an auction and they can see who their competition is on the day. And they're seeing where the other bidders are at and where they need to be themselves to walk away with the keys at the end of the day. And those same buyers, you know, they talk about when it's a private sale, they're often closed door negotiations, and you know, it's give us your best offer and try for the best, and hopefully you get the home, and only to find out they miss out by $1,000, or you know, they were so close but just so far away, and they've lost a lot of confidence, you know, in different agencies and their practices around negotiations when they're private sales. The
markets always change.
Correct.
And I think sometimes agents can be scared to do auctions because they're scared of the outcome, right? And sometimes it's the piece where the market gets educated around the process and they get used to a process. And sometimes it can take a pretty bold agent to change the process in a certain marketplace.
True.
Similar to what you're doing at the moment here in Sandhurst. But all we talk about is that, you know, leaving money on the table. How do we get the most out of the sale?
Correct.
You know, and I'm a big believer. We're both auctioneers and have been doing for a very long time. And I know that the auction process, as you said, the auction process is transparent, but it creates competition.
It does. I see that so often. And recently we had a really good example of a property like that where we had buyers interested in the property prior to auction and they wanted to make an offer prior. And our owner had very clear instructions with us. They wanted to see out the auction process and really see what the day would deliver on the day. And you know, some of these buyers were sort of murmuring prices that were probably, you know, a fair price for a property that may have bought it on any other day, but the owner had confidence in the process, confidence in us, and let it run its course. That same property pretty much netted him $100,000 more on auction day with the competition. Those same buyers that wanted to sort of steal it early were there on the day as the last people standing, bidding competitively with each other to deliver that result for our owner, you know, and the buyers, smiles on their faces, the disappointed buyers that missed out, they didn't feel cheated by the system. They knew that they'd only just missed out, but they gave it their best shot, you know.
And you're right there, and you're right. It's a transparent process for everybody to see.
Correct.
And you know, we've all called auctions. Unfortunately, there is only one winner. But we also get to see what the other bidders are bidding up to. We get a real understanding of their budget to be able to go to the next property with confidence and speak to our next listings and say, you know, everyone always says we've got buyers, and the list is never there. But we've got actual bidders that were prepared to pay a deposit on a property. Unfortunately, they missed out on, but here is our pool for the next property. And we need to use that process.
We do.
You know, we've seen a rise of these buyers agents. We've seen a rise on TikTok and social media of off-market properties, right? I think off-market, I hate off-market. I hate it.
I'm against it.
Right? If you're doing 1 or 2 a month just to sort of do it, but you're still doing, I get it. But when it's only off-market, we're not meeting people at open homes. The buyer's agent is working for the buyer.
Correct.
We are employed by the vendor, and we always work for the vendor.
Correct.
Even though we want a great outcome for both parties, our outcome is the best result for the vendor. The buyer's agent wants the property cheaper than anything else.
That's right.
So, you know, when I see these videos that we can save you money, the vendor should be steering away from that in every way possible.
Correct.
If you're going through a buyer's agent, no problem. You can work with a buyer's agent, but you can bring them to the auction with everybody else.
Correct.
And bid for them.
We did that similar on a property recently where we had a buyer's agent wanting to buy the property before it went to market. I insisted that we're going to market because I felt there was buyers that may not have entered the market at that point of time. And there was new buyers circling, looking in our area. And if we went off market, those buyers wouldn't have known about that property. And there would have not been the added layer of competition for that property. So the buyer's agent's buying in isolation. There's no competition to it. You know, so interesting enough, one of that same property that I had, the second bidder at that property was the buyer's agent. They were the underbidder. They pushed it way up above where they were initially, you know, indicating their value was at. And And it was that extra layers of competition that were there. And for us as agents and professionals in this industry, we've got a duty of care to make sure that we are doing the best for our sellers. Our vendors are the ones that engage us. We've got to put it to the market. We've got to see what the best way about doing that is for the best outcome, and then for the buyers to make it a great transparent process for them to be involved in. That if they do miss out on that one, they do want to come back to us to our next property that we have. As you said, they want to come back again to our next auction and be in the market again, because they're part of the process,
The buyer pool is what we want to create. The bigger that pool is, the better chance we've got of creating competition and getting a better price for the properties.
100%.
But we also want to meet people for the next homes as well. And something we do really well at Harcourts at all our offices is that when we have an auction, we bring the team.
100%.
You know what I mean? We bring the team. We're working with our buyers, we're making them feel as comfortable as possible. Because also quite often the listing agent might not be the auctioneer. The listing agent is probably more important sometimes. Out in the crowd, working with the buyers that they've met along the campaign to make them feel more comfortable.
And it's a really valid point. And at Harcourts Carrum Downs, we have an amazing team culture with our auctions. If it's an auction, it's all in our diaries. We book it out as an appointment for each of us individually. And we turn up. And we're there to support that listing agent on the day. And we're there to help the crowd, help those buyers that are nervous, their first auction, maybe their fifth auction, and today's the one they definitely want to get. And we help them with the bidding. We're coaching the buyers through the process of what's next. And it's exciting to be a part of it, but it's also very obvious that not everyone does that. Not every real estate agency is out there that have that team culture where they come together to assist their buyers. And I think that's probably what makes our auctions at Harcourts Carrum Downs really successful is the fact that we work as a team, we pull it together, we're there to support and encourage, and we all walk away with a smile on our face because, we've all helped each other in that particular moment, and it's good to give and help, It's exciting to be a part of.
Definitely. But anyway, mate, thanks. We have a great chat about auctions today.
Yes.
It's been amazing. We would just like to let everybody know, if you want to know more about the process, we're here for you to have a chat.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for a great chat.
Fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.